crypto warriors, changing our world day by day. The way of the crypto warriors, can't rely on the bankers, no way.
Good morning, Bix Weir. Roadrunner.com with your morning horn of Z's, your sip of chaga coffee. Craziness weekend, of course. I heard they're going to extend some of the lockdowns because of the rioters weren't wearing masks. I mean, we are being played. I posted last night a video about how much we're being played. But, hey, I'm going to stick to my core right now. We're being played in the financial markets. Rigged jobs every day. Rigged job. Rigged, not jobs, job. Rigged job. There's only one guy who makes this decision right now. He works for Trump. His name is Steve Mnuchin. You might know him as your lovely Treasury Secretary. I know him as the head of market rigging at Goldman Sachs via computer programs. Yes, he was head of IT at Goldman Sachs. Does he know how to rig markets? Yeah, so do I, though. I could walk down to the basement of the Treasury, click a mouse, and rig every market on planet Earth and not tell anybody about it, just like Steve Mnuchin does. How hard is it to click a mouse? Yes, you have to program in where you want each market to go, and the automation solves it all. I need the stock market to go up today because the futures are down. That's what happened today. Steve Mnuchin walks down the stairs of the U.S. Treasury building, which got attacked. They should have gone into the basement and destroyed the computers. Anyway, I'm not advocating violence. Walk down the stairs in the dungeon of the basement of the U.S. Treasury building where there's a huge trading floor. Walk over to a desk. Click. Let's see. I want these Dow to go up 100 points. Click a mouse. Done. What funds do they use? They don't even use funds. They don't need funds. These are all derivative markets that are unreportable. It's called the Exchange Stabilization Fund. Yes, they do declare every once in a while how much money they made or lost. But here's the deal. They don't declare any derivatives. They are the big elephant in the room of the derivative market. And, of course, buying stocks is a derivative trade. Look at that. We just went positive. From down 200 into open and positive because Steve Mnuchin got to work, walked down the stairs, flicked on his computer, and clicked the mouse. Welcome to the fraud that is called our global financial system. How do you get out of it? You got to get out of it. How do you get out of it? You got to get out of it. Meaning take your physical metal off any exchanges, get it out of an ETF. Oh my God, those are the biggest frauds ever. Out of all ETFs, take your physical metal into your own possession. That means you too, Venezuela, China, Russia. You want to beat the U.S.? Go take all the silver off the market. It's a couple $1 billion and you're set for life. Mexico never open up your silver mines to exports. Never again. Never again. 330 million ounces? 33%. 33% of all silver ever mined came out of Mexico and they sold it all. How rich would Mexico be if they hung on to their silver and treated it like it was a valuable commodity? Luckily, with this COVID thing, that's exactly what they're doing. You might ask yourself, hey, if South America and Mexico aren't selling any silver because of COVID, how is the price not gone skyrocket? Steve Mnuchin has a computer that works on silver too, as well as gold. But we are getting little upticks in silver. It got to 1837 before Mnuchin walked downstairs. So yes, a 1% move is really exciting in the silver market these days. Silver is over $18. Remember, every dollar it goes up, the top criminal crime bosses who are at the other end, the banking bullion dealers, lose $1 billion. For every dollar silver goes up, they lose $1 billion. They are trapped. This is what we've been waiting for. Get your physical, get it into your own possession. Remember, Steve Mnuchin can click that mouse and set any price anywhere. They can set the price of silver to negative. And people were telling me for years, that's impossible, Bix. You can't have a negative commodity. Really, it's really impossible. Did you see what happened to oil? Minus $40. No, that has to do with storage. Bullshit. It's got nothing to do with storage. It's got to do with the volumes traded and infinity money at the Fed. Now, I do believe it was J.P. Morgan that caused that because they played a game. Everybody thought, oh, it can't go minus zero. You know how many billions of dollars they made on that trade? And they're still not in jail. They're up on RICO. You got 6 traders up on RICO charges. And yet, who's the number one trader in all commodities? J.P. Morgan. It's con. The whole game is rigged. It's fixed. Everything's a lie. It comes out of the government. It comes out of mainstream media. Everything's a lie. But we know that. Look at all that green in silver and gold. That's crazy. That's not allowed. What are they thinking? Maybe it's because the gold-silver ratio is just skyrocketing. Now remember, as the gold-silver ratio goes down, that means silver is doing better than gold. Look at the last 30 days. If you had sold your gold and bought silver in the last 30 days, you'd be up 15% plus the amount that gold went up. Why does anybody hold gold? Why does anybody hold gold? That's the most ridiculous investment I've ever heard of. Why? Because they're both monetary metals. Gold and silver are both monetary metals. Why would you invest in the one that's overvalued compared to the other one? And how can I prove it's overvalued? This is the 30-day chart. Let's look at the 6-month chart. Look at that. 85, 85, 80. It went up to 125 to 1 for silver. Yes, it started to go down, but how far does it have to go down? Let's look at the 20-year chart. Look where silver is in the gold-silver ratio. Way up high. I mean, over the 20 years, it averages right in here between 50 and 60 to 1. So you're going to make double the amount of money you would have made in gold in silver. But that's a rigged price too. Let's look at all data. Of course, it only goes to 1971. Why? 1971 is when the computer markets kicked in and the gold and silver ratio was rigged much higher. The in-ground ratio is maybe 10 to 1. Above ground ratio is 1 to 1. 6 billion ounces of gold, 6 billion ounces of silver. The silver gold ratio is going to go 1 to 1. You don't believe me? Hey, keep an eye on things. Why? Because silver's more valuable than gold, by far, especially with the introduction of cryptos. Gold pretty much has only one use case. A store of value as monetary money. That's a silver use case as well, along with industrial applications, which is massive in a high-tech future. Yes, you should sell every ounce of your gold, even if you have half a brain, because it's gonna go down from here. It's gonna go down from 90. The silver gold ratio is gonna go down from 97 to 1, which it is right now. Probably at the extreme will be 1 to 1. 1 to 1. What's that? 1,000, 10,000 times your investment? And that's just because you sold your gold and you bought silver. That's what happens in a rigged market. They don't even show you what happened before 1971. Why? Because the ratio was always 10 or 15 to 1. Why was it set that way? And these were set. Why was it set that way before that? Because that's how much they had. That's what was coming out of the ground. And that's what was in circulation. And then with industrialization in 20s, 30s, 40s, massive amounts of silver came out of the monetary system and into and consumed by the industrial application. You are insane to hold gold. If you have gold, hey, go for it. Have a day. I can tell you probably five other massive gold mines that they aren't telling you about, including obviously the Grand Canyon. Billions and billions and billions of ounces. Chocolate Mountain. Dianne Feinstein locked it up in a national desert wildlife preserve, as well as the Chocolate Mountain Gunnery Range. Of course, you hide all your natural resources in the ground. Keep them there until they stop accepting the US dollar. So if you're holding gold, you're insane. If you're holding gold to make a profit, you're insane. If you're holding gold to preserve your wealth, you're insane. You should be holding silver. You're insane. You're insane. I'm not trying to bash on anybody, but even gold bugs have to acknowledge that in a gold and silver bull market, silver does massively better than gold. In a bear market, silver gets slammed first because it's easy. But in a bull market, yes, we are headed to 1-to-1 gold to silver ratio. Why? Because that's how much is available above ground. And silver is absolutely necessary to function in any form of life that we live, at least right now. All right, there's your silver update. Go buy silver today. If you don't have a local shop, that's why I always say, go to your local coin shop, make these relationships, because that's probably who you're going to want to sell it back to when the price goes 1-to-1 with gold. That would probably be in the $30,000, $40,000 range for silver ounces. Yes, I said it. $30,000 to $40,000 silver for 1 ounce. Will the world change? Will it be different? Absolutely. Are we headed up to those $5 moves every day that Cliff High had been talking about and $600 silver? Absolutely. Are we going to blow by it? Absolutely. Think of the visibility of the DOJ coming in to arrest Jamie Dimon and Blythe Masters on RICO charges because they rigged the price of commodity. What would that do to the price of commodity? Silver especially. What will it do when the DOJ announces they're confiscating 3 billion ounces? 3 billion ounces of silver from JP Morgan. Even though they only have one, but RICO charges are 3-to-1. If you game the system and you're convicted of racketeering, the fine and penalty is up to 3-to-1, which is, according to Ted Butler, JP Morgan has over 1 billion ounces of physical. You know that they took the Hunt brothers out with 100 million ounces. They took Warren Buffett out with 130 million ounces. And Jamie Dimon's sitting there with 1 billion ounces. They're going to take him out. What's that going to tell the world? Oh my God, silver is able to be freely traded. I got to get my hands on some. And it's going to be too late. You won't be able to get any. It'll jump from 30 to 40 to 50 to 60 to 78. And CIBC was saying, I don't know what's going on with silver. Boy, JP Morgan really did a number on the silver market. And then people will dive in and find out it's not just JP Morgan. It's Steve Mnuchin that's assisting in the manipulation of gold and silver. It's Donald Trump that's assisting in the manipulation of gold and silver. All this is coming. Why do you think the DOJ has RICO charges on JP Morgan traders? Whew. And we're starting to see, first it was Scotiabank, then it was HSBC. Now Canadia's CIBC lost $64 million in a day on paper gold market turmoil. What were they doing with that kind of short position? $64 million short position. CIBC is a tiny bank. Well, it's not tiny, but they're not a big commodity player. And it clearly wasn't hedging because they lost the money. There's no legitimate reason for CIBC to be playing in the gold markets. And they're getting whooped for it. This was just one day. CIBC, which is the Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce, took a mark-to-market trading loss, meaning a loss of $88 million Canadian in one day in March due to volatility in the gold market. If your book, if the gold market volatility has you at a potential loss of $64 million, what the hell are you doing in there? How come you have that position? Why did you allow your traders to do that? Why? Because they were colluding with each other and they'd all make money going up and all make money going down, and those days are gone. Financial Times, commodity traders need to embrace a digital future. What? I saw this headline. I'm like, what do you mean? Commodities have been under digital control since the early 1970s when Alan Greenspan wrote the first computer programs to rig the markets. But it goes on to say it's the tracking of commodities because the banks are lending to commodity traders on their inventory. The inventory is being called collateral and it's not there. So HSBC is learning the hard way. The collapse of Agritrade International, Hinlong Trading, Phoenix Commodities, or Zinrock commodity trading firms seem to be failing with some regularity over the recent months. Duh. Superficially. I'm not even trying to say that word. Ben could do it. I can't. Commodity traders share some features of the lightly regulated investment banks that existed before the 2008 crisis. They have leveraged balance sheets, they extend credit to suppliers, and they transact in derivatives to execute on regulated exchanges. You want to know who the counterparty is? There you go. There's your counterparty. Remember, it's counterparty risk. These collapsed just recently. Agritrade International, Hung Long Trading, Phoenix Commodities, Zenrock Commodity Trading. Who took them out? JP Morgan on their gains because they didn't play according to the rules. And the rules were you don't mess with everybody else. You do exactly what they do so we all make money, and it's the little guy that loses. Anyway, they go on to say we got to digitize the commodity markets so banks know what's what. Bullshit. There's more fraud in digitizing stuff than there is in anything else. It's so easy to fake digitization. And if you put it on the blockchain so that it only goes on the blockchain, yeah, that's how you fix it. You implement Veritasium as a solution, yeah, that's how you fix it. Are they going to do it? No, they can't have open and transparent books. We're talking, this is a Mark Rich type of trading action going on. Behind the scenes, the dirty deals, that's all covered up with digitization now. It's crazy. All right, cryptocurrency's looking pretty strong. Wait till Bitcoin hits 100,000. Now, do I think Bitcoin will hit 100,000 this year? Probably. Remember, it only takes one trade. You could look at this and say, oh my God, Bitcoin's at 9,500 Bix. What the hell are you talking about? It only takes the next traded Bitcoin to go to 100,000. One, you got massive fake volumes still after all these years. Look at Ethereum. $13 billion in volume in 24 hours with a market cap of 26. That means in 2 days, every single ETH token that you have has been traded. Pure fraud. This isn't just the little guys. This isn't just the phonied up. This is Coinbase. This is Gemini. It's all fractional reserve lending. Get your cryptos in your own possession. Or you're not a coiner. You're not a crypto guy unless you have your cryptos in your own possession. If you can't tell me your private key, you don't own your cryptos. And I know there's some storage things that it's kind of hard to get your private key, but if you're the only one that can get it, you're fine. If you're not the only one that can get it, you're screwed. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you're screwed. Get your cryptos off the exchanges. How do you do that? Go online, figure out how to look at Trezor. Or, a lot of people saying, Bix, how do I get my Theta offline? Well, you can make a Theta wallet. They use the same wallet algorithm, the SHA-256 cryptography, to make Theta wallets, paper wallets. They use the same one. So you can print out a paper wallet on my Ether wallet and use it for Theta. I suggest don't mix them up. Just do Theta on that one paper wallet. Or Trezor. Or whatever you're doing, get it offline. You need to take control of your cryptos. You don't know how to do it? Go to the monster crypto library, which is YouTube search function. I'm telling everybody, Biggs, how do I do this cryptos? I can't tell you how to do the cryptos. There's too much liability. I tell you something wrong, you lose all your cryptos, you're coming after me. Go to YouTube. Cryptos are all about learning. You got to learn for yourself, and it's not easy. Go to YouTube. Just do a search. Everything is there on YouTube. How do I make a paper wallet? How do I store my cryptos on a Trezor, a Nano, Ledger X, or whatever your choice is? It's all on YouTube. But it takes studying, it takes learning. This is a good thing to learn for the future. And finally, yesterday I posted this, a post called Antifa False Flags and the Queen Flees. Interesting stuff there. That picture there is the Attorney General of Minnesota. That's the guy who's going to prosecute the cop who supposedly killed Floyd. Yes, that is the Attorney General of Minnesota holding up an Antifa handbook. You think you're not being played? I hope you guys know these bricks were put all around every city. Who put them there and why? For the riots. The protests. Here's an Antifa guy paying off some of the guys on the ground. This is amazing. Check this out.
We're building barricades. Go get everything you can find. Go get everything you can
Stick
find.
the money back in your pocket.
The boys right here. This is the team. There's more stuff that we can put out here. Hey, there's 3 picnic tables up here. There's a couple picnic tables up here.
See, you paid those guys to go do that shit. Unbelievable. Welcome to the new America. And here's where they bust this guy who just broke into a AutoZone. What's he doing with an umbrella? Who is he? They busted him.
Looks like, yeah. So as you can see, the AutoZone.
It's an Antifa guy. And they're calling him, oh, you must be an undercover cop. No, that's Antifa right there.
Smash the windows.
I'm gonna break you right now.
You wanna go? Yes, what's up?
The guy's smoking a joint. You want to go? Let me put my joint down. We'll go.
Hey.
This is America fighting back.
Are you a fucking cop?
Are you a cop? No, he's Antifa. That's what I talk about in this one, the private road. They don't let me put that on YouTube. They'll probably demonetize me for even showing you what I did. But that information is out there. Go out there and find it. We're being played like you wouldn't believe on every front. We need to start arresting these guys. George Soros, number one. And the people who employ him, but that's probably off planet. Crazy world, ain't it? Oh my God. Anyway, hang in there, my friends. This is year 0. It's going to get worse before it gets better. We all know that. But stay strong. Try to educate your friends and family that this is all fake. This is all orchestrated. And they have an agenda. It's Bix Weir. I'll talk to you later.